And investors, it's time for another midweek update, and I'm here with Lance ippolito as usual. Lance, how's it going?
Oh, lovely, lovely.
Are you making money hand over fist over there?
Actually, yes. uh, between the Fed speakers all last week and all this choppy mess, my account's actually been hitting new highs.
Oh, fantastic.
So I'm pretty happy. Now I'm just kind of in the point of, should I walk away for a week or two and get away from the screens and
well, that looks like you'd be missing out on the big reversal here.
Yeah, I'm just. It's
gonna...
usually when everything's running good and your account's making new highs, it's usually the best time to take a step back and get away from the markets. Because if you keep pushing your luck, especially if you're up in your size, usually you're going to get the rug pulled. And that's when you're like, oh man, I was up 60K. Now I'm only up 40K. How do I go back to 60K? And then you start trading big and big. I say 60K like it's a lot of money, but I started with a $30,000 account and I doubled it in a few months. So, for that, it's like, after you double your money, do you really want to, keep pushing?
Well, I guess that depends on your tolerance for risk, doesn't it?
It does. And what I've realized I'm starting to do now, it's like, instead of trading like 50 lots, I'm like, I'll trade a 20 lot. I'll trade a 10 lot. And before it was like, all right, I'm going to do 50. I'll do 20 more. I'll do 20 more. Oh, look, I have 120 lot now. And I'm like, whoa, one red day or one downgrade or something could, fluctuate tens of thousands of dollars, which is not fun.
So how do you go about sizing your trades every day?
I usually do it by expiration. So I usually trade options. I'll scalp stock every now and then, but I'll hold small stock positions overnight. But I'm not blasting like 2,000 shares and holding it overnight and tying up like 40 grand a margin. So what I'll usually do, if it's a weekly option, I'll usually trade really small. So let's say hypothetically $50,000 account. With a weekly option, I usually won't put more than like $500 in there, because I know with a weekly option, within like 10 or 20 minutes, I could be up or down 50% on those weekly options. So I'm not going to go and put, let's say, 10 grand in a weekly option, be down 5 grand. That's 10% of my account. So I'll trade the weekly option small. If it's front month options, so like October, so that's 15 days before expiration, I'll usually trade no more than like 2 grand. So that will be about like 4 to 6% or so of my book. If they're options right around 30 days or so before expiration, I'll trade anywhere between like 6 to 8% of my book. And then if they're long dated options, like let's say the options don't expire till 60, 90 days plus, then I could do about 8 or 10% of my book. So, a few grand or so, just because I know they're not going to be so sensitive. And let's say, I buy a stock or buy an option and the stock gets a downgrade tomorrow and it's down 5%. I know the option might be down 20, 30%, but it's not going to like go to zero or be down like 70% to where I'm like, oh no, it's a major hit to my portfolio.
Sure. And do you typically target the most liquid stocks?
Usually, if they're illiquid, I'll scale in really small. So let's say the spread in the options market between the bid and the ask is like, let's say it's $1 by $1.50. So it's a huge spread, right? Usually what I'll do is I'll put like an order mid-market. So let's say like 125, 130. If I don't get filled, then I'll, maybe pay up to like 140. And then let's say the next day the stock's down a couple percent and now they're 80 by 120. Then I'll try to go in like at $1 or so. So I'll try to scale in the illiquid options. so I can build a position over days. And then usually when the stock pops on volume, so let's say I'm buying calls, usually the liquidity and the options is better because more contracts will trade and such, and making it easier to get in and obviously to take profits and get out.
Right. Interesting. So what's got your attention today?
Little retailers are kind of interesting because the Bed Bath and Beyond popped 33% now. It just crossed over 20 as we're talking on earnings. So you're seeing, some buying in like Nordstrom, Kohl's, Gap stores as well. Just basically a short squeeze. Like, do I think Bed Bath and Beyond's a good company that's going to double from here? Heck no. I think a lot of these retailers are horrible, but you'll have short-term pops like today on a better than expected earnings, although the bar was not high. So, I like looking for squeeze plays because you can have a large aggressive move in these stocks. Again, short term, but they're highly shorted, right? You have a lot of people betting against a name like Bed Bath and Beyond or Foot Locker or Gap and Nordstrom's because of obviously the coronavirus and stores shutting down and just the huge shift to e-commerce eating their lunch. But it is fun when they pop because you can make they usually pop pretty aggressively. Instead of like 1 or 2%, they're usually up like 5 to 10%. So it gives some opportunity there.
Yep.
I
Interesting.
dig it.
Right. So do you think that the election debate has any impact on the market? Is the market just basically shrugging its shoulders and saying whatever?
After the debate we saw this week where the futures were up and then post debate the S&P futures went down about 20 handles.
Yeah.
And then the following day they opened down like 10 handles or 15 handles and they went green. I honestly don't even think that the election's an event. Maybe as we get closer and let's say the Democratic Party starts really building momentum, I just don't think the market really gives a damn anymore. As crazy as it sounds, it's just the market doesn't care about the coronavirus. It doesn't care about really the economy. It's just in its own world, and the big picture is the Fed and interest rates are low. Where are you going to put your money? Can't put it in the bank. Can't put it in treasury yields. You're not getting anything. So people are forced to buy stocks, and we see it every day.
You bet. All right, that's a great update. We're going to leave it there for today, Lance. Thanks very much for your participation as usual. We'll come back to you soon.
Thank you, James.
Thanks. Bye for now.